everybody has these midfielders and forwards in their teams for FPL, but are they actually good for game week 1? Well, in today's video, I'm ranking the highest owned midfielders and forwards in the game right now, and some of the rankings might actually surprise you. Let's get into it. Welcome to today's video. Of course, you can see the tier list with all of the highly owned midfielders and forwards, which we are going to cover in today's video. Tomorrow's video is going to be an updated team draft, so go ahead and subscribe to the channel. I make FPL videos to try help you guys at home, and by clicking that little red button, it helps me out a massive amount. The like goal for today's video is 20 likes. Let's see if we can hit that, but we're going to kick things off with today's list, with the midfield bunch. Of course, a lot of these players are in pretty much every single FPL draft. You've got Mohamed Salah at first, and of course, you probably know where I'm going to put Mohamed Salah, but we'll talk about it anyway. 56% owned in the game, the highest price player you can even get in FPL, 14.5 million. I mean, do I need to say much more than he's the GOAT of FPL? Do I really need to say much more? Okay, I will. So, you've got the fixtures here. They're bad at the start. I understand this. Bournemouth at home I actually think is pretty good, and I think he'll probably be my captain for game week 1. Maybe that's an ownership standpoint, but right now I think Bournemouth at home is actually a pretty decent fixture with the amount of defensive defensive outgoings, we'll say, that Bournemouth have had this transfer window. You then move on to Newcastle away. I think it's a hard fixture. Despite all this Isak sort of rambling, Newcastle away is a hard fixture. It always will be. Arsenal at home, another difficult fixture. Arsenal, a team that can really disrupt how big teams play. And then you've got Burnley, Everton, Crystal Palace. For me, Salah is probably the easiest one of the video, S tier. Now, Cole Palmer, you could argue he probably goes in S tier. He probably does. I mean, we'll put him there for now. You've got a player that is just unbelievable. The children of right now in the world are looking up to players like Cole Palmer and going, wow, talent, flair, doesn't care, just gets on with it, plays amazing football. He is top tier in terms of world football right now. In terms of FPL, I would say the same. I think he's a really fantastic asset, and I think 10.5 million is completely fair. And I'm probably going to guess I'm going to start the season with him. Penalties, amazing. I think he's S tier, and I would maybe put him in A tier because of the form issues he had towards the end of the season. But what puts him back to S tier for me is the fixtures. Yesterday's video, I put Sanchez in, I believe, S tier / A tier because of the fixtures alone, because of his price. Similar with Cole Palmer, 52% owned, really close to Salah actually. Palace, West Ham, Fulham, Brentford, Manchester United, Brighton. These fixtures are fantastic. For me, Cole Palmer is an S tier asset to start game week 1 with. You then have Florian Wirtz. Now, it's easy to say, look, you can expect him to hit the ground running in the Premier League. He's been pretty good in pre-season. I've heard from a lot of Liverpool fans, and I've watched clips of Florian Wirtz, and he looked great on the ball. But it's really difficult. Do I go ahead and put him B tier or A tier? I think as an FPL asset, we'll take a little look because some people might not be aware of his price and ownership. 8.5 million, 34.1% owned. I think I'll keep him in B tier for now, but this is a really hard decision. I think he really, the whole season, if we're taking into account, I think he'll become an A / S tier asset. But for now, I think I'll keep him in B. We'll see where he ends up at the end of the video, but for now he's B. Liverpool fans, don't kill me in the comments. Mohamed Kudus is an interesting one, right? Because at the start of the game's release, we all had a look at sort of what players are what price, which new transfers have gone where, how much are they, what are the fixtures looking like. Mohamed Kudus was one of those standout options at 6.5 million. For me, Spurs assets have been looked at under the scope of they still have Postecoglou. They do not have Postecoglou anymore. They have a fantastic football manager in Thomas Frank. And I think a manager like Thomas Frank can get a player like Mohamed Kudus on track to be a really fantastic Premier League player. The fixtures are great. There's still a bit of uncertainty on like the issues with Maddison, other issues like Solanke. Is he going to be able to start the season? So I think we'll go ahead and put Mohamed Kudus in C tier. I don't think he's quite... Do you know what? I think it makes more sense to do this. Put Mohamed Kudus in B tier and Wirtz in A tier. We know Mohamed Kudus is a good footballer. Last season, not the greatest season, but the season before, I believe, I think he had a pretty decent one. I think maybe a few games under his belt with those good fixtures coming up for maybe the first 10 or so game weeks. We'll have a look at that, actually. First 9 game weeks, actually. I think he can get a good run and start with already having Premier League experience. So we'll put him there just for his price and fixtures as well. Morgan Rogers. Now, Morgan Rogers is one of my favourite midfielders to put in drafts at the moment. You look at the fixture list, it's fantastic. It's absolutely fantastic. 7 million you're paying. Of course, a bit of an increase in price, but Newcastle at home, yes, not fantastic, but you've got that home aspect to it, which Villa do enjoy. You've then got Brentford, Palace, Everton, Sunderland, Fulham, Burnley and Spurs, and then Manchester City. For me, I think he joins Florian Wirtz, but it makes me then want to put Wirtz in B tier to start the season with. We'll probably juggle this all the way through the video, so I do apologise. But for me, Morgan Rogers is fantastic. We probably expect Tielemans or Watkins to have penalties. Tielemans did take a penalty in pre-season, and I think he missed that penalty. So maybe that gets passed on to Watkins. Maybe Rogers gets a little show at a penalty through the season. I don't know, but I don't think he'll have penalties as a permanent basis. I think it will be one of those things that kind of goes between Watkins and Tielemans. We'll see how that works out though. So for AT for him. Brian Mbeumo, I think, is D tier. And it's only because you're starting the season with not the greatest fixtures. You maybe expect Fulham away, Burnley at home, and then Brentford and Sunderland in 8 and 9 to be good. But then you've starting the season with Arsenal, Manchester City 4, and then Chelsea 5. The fixtures aren't great. He's now 8 million. He plays for United, who might have a few teething problems again to start the season with, but they have looked better in pre-season. I think until we see good evidence that United are a much stronger team and are willing to really go forward and attack, I don't think I can buy Brian Mbeumo just yet. He's been one of my favourite assets to own in FPL because of just how good he is as an FPL asset. At Brentford, penalties, just unbelievable. Everything went through him and Wissa. I'm not sure that's going to be the case at United, which makes me want to put him in D tier, but I really hope it can sort of form a little bit of form in going into the season and through the starting weeks of the season, so we can own him in FPL and have him as that amazing FPL asset we had at Brentford. Saka, we'll put him back down because we really need to investigate Bukayo. For me, the fixtures aren't good for Arsenal. They really aren't. You've got Leeds and Forest, West Ham, and then you get sort of to this block here, 7 to 11, which are good fixtures, but you've really only got Leeds in that 6-week block. That's a good fixture for attack and potential. Forest might be good as well, but Forest are a really good defence. They can sit in and really barricade their goal. So, yeah, just put on my YouTube channel, apologies about that. You've got Bukayo Saka. I think at 10 million... I would probably put him in the same boat as these guys. I think I haven't owned Saka in FPL in a long time. And the last time I owned him, he was getting quite a lot of assists, and an injury happened and he came back. I didn't own him. I chose to go with Palmer over Saka at the end of last season. Palmer outscored Saka, and it just seemed like he was a bit sort of out of it, wasn't quite himself. Maybe pre-season he's kind of got back to things and can start the season well, but it's difficult fixtures to start the season with. And I think the way things are looking in terms of strategy, just holding on to a few chips and maybe wildcarding into Arsenal assets is going to be the way to go. For me, Bukayo Saka's B tier. Marmoush, a really easy one. I think C tier. I think he's great for City as a player, as an FPL asset. Pep Roulette's really dangerous, and I think we can see a lot of rotation between Marmoush, Doku, Foden, Cherki, all those kind of winger type players, or sort of maybe players who play in the half space as well. As sort of Aït-Nouri bombs down the wing and a winger will drift inside to the half space. I just think the fixtures are good, which makes them not D tier, but playing Pep Roulette every week isn't fantastic. We'll go on to the forward section now, but that is how I'm currently ranking the midfielders. Now, I didn't quite realise how long this video would be, but I've included a few more players than yesterday's video, so it's going to be slightly longer, but we'll try to get through it as best as I can for you guys. We're going to move on to the forwards now. The most highly owned forward right now is João Pedro. 53% owned, great fixtures, had a fantastic Club World Cup when he joined Chelsea. You would think he's S tier, but he's not. he really isn't. And you've got Delap and Nicholas Jackson currently at Chelsea. Delap, of course, signing a contract, becoming a Chelsea player. Nicholas Jackson may leave the club. I just think his minutes are way too at risk. I really do. I so expect João Pedro to be subbed around and just turn into a bad asset. We've seen it at Brighton. He has these kind of matches where he's got a bit of aggression in as well. Maybe that comes into play. But João Pedro, I think his price is fantastic. The fixtures are great, so I can't quite put him in C tier. I think starting game week 1, we'll put him in B tier. I think he's good, but he's not got penalties. To be fair, he's in a really similar boat to Omar Marmoush. He's in a really similar boat to him because of sort of that Pep Roulette. Maybe Maresca working under Pep has kind of given him a bit of Pep Roulette syndrome. But I think CT is absolutely fine for João Pedro. It makes sense for me. Alexander Isak, I mean, what the hell is going on with you, bro? Because, like, he went into the Newcastle training ground yesterday for a scan for a supposed thigh injury, which was an excuse that he used to not go to the pre-season tour. But in that pre-season tour, he was flirting with Liverpool, and we just don't know what the hell's going on with him, so we can't really put him in our FPL teams right now. Right now, he's a D tier asset. Right now. And, of course, if he joins Liverpool, he's probably going to... Right now, though, would you be picking Alexander Isak? Would you be comfortable if the deadline was right now, starting with Alexander? No, you absolutely would not be comfortable with it. He's D tier. It's simple. We can hypothesize and kind of think about the potential of him being a Liverpool asset and go, well, he's probably going to maybe do quite well because he's got words, and he's D tier right now. That's the tier list. Done. Gyökeres, I think, would I start the season with him? Possibly, but I'd need to see a lot more from Arsenal in pre-season in terms of his minutes. He's only been coming off the bench. Havertz has started in the pre-season games. I don't think he's in a similar boat to Isak in terms of we're not quite sure whether he's going to be playing for what club and stuff because we know he's at Arsenal. I'm tempted to put him in... I'll put him in B tier. And the reason I put him in B tier is because I don't think there's a situation where Victor Gyökeres doesn't take penalties off Bukayo Saka. His record for penalties is fantastic. Bukayo Saka, he still gives penalties to Martin Odegaard here and there. I think Gyökeres will come in, take penalties off them both, and just be the penalty take for Arsenal. I think his minutes will be a bit difficult to call to start the season. Right now, I don't expect him to be starting game week 1. But would you really want him sort of his first game at Old Trafford in your FPL team, so you wouldn't captain him for sure. I think I'll keep him. I think that could change through the video, but yeah, I think we'll keep him there. In terms of the next player, we have Jared Bowen. Now, Jared Bowen is 19% owned. He was one of the highest owned forwards in the game. Then Gyökeres came along and kind of pushed him out, but the fixtures for West Ham are really good to start the season. Sunderland, Chelsea's not great. Forest, it's away. Spurs at home will be good game. Palace, Everton, then you kind of go into a hard Arsenal fixture. So for me, the fixtures kind of slightly longer term are actually quite good for Jared Bowen. Yes, he's now a forward, but I'm trying to separate myself from that prejudice, the fact that he's not going to get as many points this season. It is just a fact. I'm going to put him 8 here. I really am, because I think 8 million is probably fair for Jared Bowen. It is. He's a penalty taker. He's now going to be, well, he's always been West Ham's main man, really. And he's got good fixtures to start the season. It just depends on how West Ham attack the first game week. They're playing Sunderland away from home, my club. I guarantee Sunderland will score that day, because we haven't been in the Premier League for years. It's at home. The place is going to be absolute. It's just going to be hell to play in. It's going to be bouncing in there. That's always put me against Jared Bowen. But if I'm putting that bias aside, I think he's really good to start the season with. I think I've completely changed my mind on Jared Bowen as we went through pre-season. Erling Haaland, he's one of the best goal scorers in the world, if not the best. I think with City's fixtures to start the season, it's probably pretty good to go ahead and start FPL with them. The only issue comes is when you're sort of making drafts and then you realise, oh, I can't really afford Salah, Palmer and Haaland in the same draft. Who do I pick? You probably pick Salah because he's a midfielder and can get more access to FPL points. And also, Salah plays for the Premier League champions in Liverpool. That's the only thing that kind of separates Haaland and Salah. I would absolutely love to start the season with both, but I also want to start the season with Cole Palmer. For me, all of these three are easy S tier assets. Cole Palmer may be on the edge of A/S tier. But yeah, I think Erling Haaland's really good to start the season with. It's just the problem that if you go Erling Haaland, you're probably going to need Salah as well. So it's tricky. It really is. We've got Chris Wood. Now, of course, an unbelievable season at Forest last season. Brentford, Palace, West Ham, Arsenal, Burnley, Sunderland to start the season with. Great fixtures. I'm probably going to start with either double Forest or one Forest defender, because I do rate their defence. Do I think their attack is going to be slightly different this season because of the sort of outgoings of Anthony Elanga? Yes, I do. However, I don't think it's going to be that bad of an impact in terms of their forward output. Where would I put them though? That's the problem. I think I would put Chris Wood as a B tier asset. I think his price point, it's 7.5. His fixtures, in fact, he takes penalties. The only reason that stopped me from putting him at A tier is he doesn't really haul. He doesn't, like in a game week, it's really rare he scores more than one goal and one assist, let's say. It's really rare. It only happened on a few occasions last season, which makes him want me put him in B tier. Beto, I think it's D tier. You may have not seen the clip, but David Moyes had an interview before the Manchester United friendly fixture where he said he spoke to Beto and he's really not happy with him. He says he needs more from. He doesn't think he's doing enough up front for Everton. He's not involved in build-up. He's not being that goal scorer that David Moyes wants him to be. And with the incoming of Barry, I think Beto is D tier. I think the price is good. The fixtures are okay. I can't say I would start the season with Beto. I really can't say I would. Ollie Watkins, I think it's A tier. I think it was really, really good to start the FPL season with. We spoke about it with Morgan Rogers. The fixtures are great. Really great. At 9 million, I would say the price is expensive, but it's Ollie Watkins. I think it's fair. It's expensive in terms of team building, but I think it's fair. We don't think he's going to have penalties. I think Tielemans will share them with Ollie Watkins, so it's kind of uncertain whether he's going to be the main penalty taker or not. But yeah, I think ATX. I think I'm going to start the season with Ollie Watkins. But let's try in this last minute make some amendments to this list. I think I'm pretty happy with it overall. I don't think there's many changes I would genuinely make. I mean, please, in the comments, if you've thought, oh, this player is definitely not in this tier because of this reason, put them in the comments, because I think this list, for me personally, is pretty nailed on. Maybe Chris Wood in A tier, maybe that, and maybe Wirtz could get promoted to A tier if we see a bit more in pre-season. I think it's pretty nailed on. Let me know in the comments what you think of the list, though. Tomorrow's video is going to be an updated team draft for game week 1. Some big changes to the squad, so look forward to that on Wednesday afternoon. But I always outro my videos with a massive thank you to you guys at home for supporting the FPL Mugs YouTube channel. If you did enjoy today's video, go ahead and drop a like, and if you aren't yet subscribed, go ahead and click that subscribe button for future FPL videos and deadline streams. But that is everything for today's video. Thank you again so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye for now.